Cubs and White Sox today, and what an enormous opportunity for Cade Horton to make his first big league start and his Wrigley Field debut. We're going to get into that on today's show. Kyle Tucker for MVP. Is it too early to start thinking about it here in mid-May? And a former Cub retires. All that right here on the channel, brought to you by DraftKings. Our promo code is CBC, Cubs Baseball Channel. We'll talk more about that and more right here on the show. So thank you guys for being here, and let's get this party started. Hey, everybody, Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball Channel. Great to talk to you guys today, and I'm at Broadcaster Mick on the socials. I'll leave that up there for you as we talk about the Cubs like we do every single day. And I appreciate all of you guys for supporting us, being part of what we do here every day, and helping with the channel. And we're going to talk about our DraftKings code here coming up. But let's get into this right off the bat, and let's talk about Cade Horton getting the start against the White Sox. The White Sox, statistically, one of the weakest hitting teams in baseball, but it's still a major league lineup. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. We saw Cade Horton in his debut against the Mets, and we kind of predicted that on the channel that he was going to debut against the Mets. Now, I didn't know when I saw Brad Keller listed as the starter that it was going to be one of those situations where Keller was an opener. And then you say, well, why would you use Keller as an opener? Well, I mean, think about the top of that Mets lineup, right? You got guys like Lindor, Soto, Alonso up there. I mean, those are some pretty big hitters, and that's a tough lineup. You know, you use Keller, get through that. Cubs ended up winning the game. And honestly, I thought that I was really impressed with the way Horton pitched in that game. The fastball had a lot of jump to it. You know, the slider, and I don't even think that was his best slider. I think it's going to get a lot better. And one of the things you got to remember, too, the major league balls are different than the minor league balls. Now, I don't know if they use the major league balls in AAA, but it's a different ball. It's made a little bit differently. The material's better on the big league ball. And so sometimes it takes those guys a little bit of an adjustment, just getting used to the way that the big league ball works, how it moves. And pitchers have told me that before. Like when a big league rehabber goes to the minor leagues, they bring their own baseballs with them. But all in all, I really liked what I saw from Cade Horton. The moment wasn't too big for him in New York. He came and attacked hitters like we knew he would. He's a guy that's going to demand the inside of the plate if he's got to, the slider, the curveball, the changeup. But the mentality, the bulldog mentality that he has is special. He's a former quarterback at Oklahoma, was a star quarterback, star athlete in high school when he was, doing the prep thing. The only reason that he's not here, and in my opinion, a star in this rotation already, is because of the injuries that he had last season. And you hope, as a Cubs fan, that he doesn't have any setbacks as they put him in this rotation, because he is the key to the Cubs being able to get by and have a World Series type season without Justin Steele. This guy's the key, because we talked about it on yesterday's show. And if you didn't see it, go back and watch it. There's not a whole lot out there right now, starting pitching wise, in the open market. There's a lot of teams that are contending. You know, some teams that you look at and go, well, maybe they're not contending, like Baltimore. The Orioles feel like they're going to get on a run. They're not going to trade anybody. They're not going to trade their pitching right now. The Rockies are off to the worst start in baseball history. But who on that rotation would you want? The Padres were rumored to get rid of payroll. Hey, they're a half game behind the Dodgers. They're not trading King or Cease. Be crazy. They're going to ride it out. The Twins, how many times did we talk about making a deal with the Twins for a starting pitcher in the offseason? And then Sandy Alcantara of the Marlins. A lot of you guys have gotten in the comment section and said, no. The guy's got almost a 9 ERA. And what I said in the video, I'm going to reiterate. You got to remember he's coming back from Tommy John surgery. There could be a switch when this guy all of a sudden figures it out but I don't think the Marlins are going to take a discount for him, even though he's struggling right now. And I don't know if you're a team like the Cubs, if you would take a risk on a guy that's just getting beat around and his velocity's down, wondering if it's going to come back. But we know with Tommy John, it does come back, and then sometimes guys even throw harder, but it just takes some time. The bottom line is, again, that Cade Horton is the guy that can make a difference here. He's one of the most important players on this roster. You got all the other guys that have contributed in the starting rotation. Javier Assad's not coming back anytime soon. Justin Steele's out. There were two of the Cubs' most reliable pitchers over the last 2 seasons, and they're out. We know that Shota Imanaga is on the IL. Is he going to come back and be ready to go? They're going to have to get him stretched out. I know he's throwing right now while he tries to work back from his injury, but how effective is he going to be? Even if it's just a stopgap for Horton, and he's able to go out there and give the Cubs a couple good starts, getting back to Shota, he's important. But I really feel like this guy is a difference maker. I feel like he's the future of the pitching staff, and that he's a front end of the rotation talent. And it's the mix of pitches and it's the mentality that he brings to the table. So exciting day, a little bit nervous, but anytime you play the White Sox, they seem to always bring their best, even the last few years as they've been one of the worst teams in baseball. So that they're not great offensively, but they seem to find offense when they play the Cubs. So be interesting. Too bad I'm not going to be sitting in the bleachers with some of you guys today for this game. We're going to talk about Kyle Tucker, but first let me tell you about our friends from the great people at DraftKings.
They say baseball season is a marathon and not a sprint, and that's great news for us because there's so many games to bet on. Don't miss a second of the action with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. From every game day until the champagne pops and the trophy is lifted, DraftKings Sportsbook has got you covered with same-game parlays, odds boosts, and so much more. There's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use our code CBC, Cubs Baseball Channel, CBC. The crown is yours. Stay in on the action and use your $200 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on in-progress games right as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Pick 6 and have a shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers, use my promo code CBC and bet $5, just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code CBC, Cubs Baseball Channel, CBC only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
And again, don't forget our promo code. Take advantage of it, guys. CBC, Cubs Baseball Channel. $5 gets you $200 in bonus bets if you're a first-time user of DraftKings. So there you go. All right, anyway, let's talk about the MVP race, something to bet on. Do you think Kyle Tucker has a legitimate chance to win the MVP? My gut feeling on this is that he absolutely does. Now, is he throwing up the gaudy numbers that sometimes it takes to be the MVP? He does lead the league in games played. He's played 44 games so far this season, which is very impressive. He's an everyday guy, right? 10 home runs, 10 home runs, 10 stolen bases, 33 runs knocked in, a 263 average, but a 371 on base percentage. He's been in the MVP talks before. In 2023, he ended up 5th in voting. I feel like that's kind of where he is probably right now, maybe in the top 5. But the thing that I got to put in there for him that needs to be considered with MVP is how much better he's made the team. He's such a transitional player because he makes everyone around him better. Seiya Suzuki's better because he's in the lineup. Dansby Swanson's better because he's in the lineup. Pete Crow Armstrong, Hollywood Pete's better because he's in the lineup. This has an Andre Dawson feel to it for some reason with Tucker. I don't know what's going to happen in the offseason. We talked about that. We'll continue to follow that as well on our shows. But is he an MVP candidate? Absolutely. And if the Cubs, who are in first place right now, can continue to play great baseball, and he's seen as the star player on the club, it makes it a lot easier for him to make that bid for MVP. So is it time for the MVP watch to start? No. But with that said, it is exciting kind of having that feel that the MVP watch is something that we are paying attention to as we kind of move on here. All right, guys, final thing on today's show, and I ask you to do this every time, man. Please like the video, get in the comments and comment. If you're not a subscriber, be part of what we're doing, and I appreciate you guys for being on here, and I've told you a million times, I've been a Cubs fan for 40 years. I've been in the organization for 20. It's more than just a job. It's a passion like you. I love talking about the Cubs. I love, kind of chopping it up, and appreciate you for being here today. All right. One former Cub, kind of a cup of coffee Cub, a guy that we haven't talked about a whole lot on. I don't know if I've ever even brought his name up, but he's going to retire, and that is Tony Kemp. Kemp was a fun guy, had some speed, was actually considered a pretty good player, war speaking in his career. 9 years in the big leagues. When I think of Kemp, I normally think of him playing for like teams like Baltimore, but the guy was drafted out of Vanderbilt in 2013 and, was a pretty serviceable to me, backup type guy, or, maybe like a, table setter type, but he hit 237 in his career, 35 home runs, 184 runs batted in, 53 steals. He played with the Cubs in 2019 and played in 44 games. So it wasn't a big Cub, but, came over from Houston where he was there, and a good team player as well for the Astros. But we wish him the very best as he retires. Made the announcement on his X account on social media. Wow. Thank you, God, for allowing me to be a Major League Baseball player, he said. After 12 years of professional baseball and 9 seasons in the big leagues, I've decided to hang up the spikes. It's the toughest thing that a player does, right? Kemp's 33 years old, and his WAR was 3.7, right? So, interesting, and ended up with 739 big league games in his career. So, and we just saw Evan Longoria retire, and they the Rays are going to sign him to a 1-day contract. He's going to come back and retire. A lot of guys, they don't get picked up. They kind of hang around and they hope, hey, maybe something happens. But once you're kind of in that spot where you're out of the game, it's hard to get back in. And it's hard to kind of lose that perception. Hey, what did he do last year? Well, he didn't get on a roster, so you either got to grind it out in the minor leagues or, hope that somebody needs help and they call you and give you an opportunity. And that didn't happen for Kemp. So anyway, Cubs against the White Sox, big game, Wrigley Field, Chicago. This is what it's all about. This is one of the most fun games of the season, the Friday day game at Wrigley. And again, we talked about Horton getting the start for the Cubs. Shane Smith, a right-hander for the White Sox. He's had a really good season, 1-2 record and a 2.08 ERA. So Smith against Horton, who is making his first big league start, 1-0 record and a 6.75 ERA for Horton, Cubs' top pitching prospect. And this is going to be what it's all. I can't wait to watch this game. I mean, I'm pretty fired up. So anyway, thanks, guys. Comments, like, subscribe, thumbs up, as always. And again, our DraftKings code, in case you're looking to have a little fun, DraftKings, download the DraftKings app, CBC Cubs Baseball Channel, $5 gets you $200 in bonus bets if it's the first time setting up your account. And you can do that live game in bet. You know, what's sit there? So you're going to get a strikeout? Boom. Hey, I win. I don't know. Anyway, thanks, guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Cubs.